Good day, collectors. This is Scaling Drive back with another review. This time we are reviewing the Ford GT, which is actually the Ford GT LM. It used to come as the LM, but they changed the name to Ford GT later on. And we are reviewing two colors released so far in 2025, the matte black and white. Um, the white came first and then the matte black, and I believe now there's a one Boulevard release as well in premium. And that one is in yellow. So this particular casting was originally released in 2009. It was a new model for 2009, and it has been designed by a designer called John Violet. Violet spelled with a double T E at the end. I haven't heard about this designer earlier, but I must commend him because this is Ford GT is not an easy design to execute at all. Not every diecast maker gets it right. So yes, there the credit should go to the designer. And this is basically the Ford GT1 version, and this is a Grand Touring race car. So there have been multiple versions of this since 2009 release in various colors and various series, from ranging from speed machines to Hot Wheels racing, thrill races. It has been a treasure hunt as well, released in Boulevard earlier as well, cool classics, and high speed graphics series from, I think, yeah, 2016. Yeah, Gran Turismo releases, 5 packs, multi-pack exclusive. So it has been released multiple times. I have, I think, a couple more versions of this, or maybe one more. It was released in neon speeders as well. I don't know if I have that version or not. Might be. And after that, under the Hot Wheels modified series in 2025. Yeah. So this is basically a long running model by Hot Wheels. And the only major change they made was that around 2015 they changed the rear wing from a plastic piece to a metal piece, which is part of the die-cast molding now. So yes, I've got quite a lineup today. If we remove the stand, you can see, in addition to these, I am going to show you the other Ford GT versions as well, including a couple from Measure It. Yeah, so just to show you, this is the plastic rear wing of the earlier version. Yeah, this is Ford GT 2016 Ford GT race. This also is a plastic rear wing, but okay, it's better that they change plastic wings to metal ones. Yeah, more sturdy and more let me see how they have replicated the metal one, because it's not easy to mold metal as compared to plastic. Yeah, let me check that. So should we start the reviews? Let's start with the card art. The matte black one looks really nice. White one looks nice, but matte black looks special. Yeah, so card art looks racy. Yeah, you can see it's made to represent that cars are in motion, and both of them have red stripes running on top. Yeah, okay, you can see the lights, projector lights, and fog lamps, similar wheels. Yeah, so nice card art. And both are 159 or 250 and modified, HW modified. This is modified and modifies in French, I believe. I don't know why they keep changing the nomenclature. So anyways, how should we start? Let us start with the white one first, because this was released earlier and this was released later, and this looks a little more special. Yeah, so first of all, yeah, the casting seems to be on the heavier side. Just bear with me. It seems heavier than most usual Hot Wheels. Let me do a quick check of the weight as well after uncarding it. Okay, decent, nice, clean rip. Okay, nice. Let me zoom in. Okay, looks nice. Let me wait first before I start the review because it looked, yeah, 35 grams, 35.7, so it's almost 36 grams. If you weigh another one, is 33, you see. This one, GT Race, 32. Yep, this one also 2004. This one is 36.6. Okay, didn't seem to. Okay, okay. So yeah, this is still the heaviest one. No, 35.7, 36.6. Okay. Yeah, but this feels, I don't know, maybe because of the metal spoiler giving it a feel of that. So it's on the heavier side. Most Hot Wheels are between 28 to, or maybe say 26 to 33 grams. Yeah, yeah, most of them are in that range. So this is on the heavier side, 36 grams. Yeah, I like that whenever they add more metal. Yeah. Okay, let's see the staggered wheels. Hot Wheels trademark design for older muscle cars, mostly American muscle cars. I don't like it, but it's fine for some legendary castings. Yeah. So looking at the side, it has got PR5 copper chrome wheels, which look nice. Not very like, you don't have shiny wheels on race cars usually, but it gives it a nice contrasting look for a die cast car. Yeah. And we've got some red graphics on the side with white marks for the rivets, I believe. They're on the lower sill area. Yes, and you can see there's some notches here for the door hinges as well. This particular casting has got butterfly doors. Yeah, I don't have a bigger casting in which I can show the opening doors, anyways. And the number here is 78. I wonder what it signifies. Okay, DHR 78. Maybe it's something to do with the model code. Yeah. So on the base it says 4GTLM, which was how it was released. Now it is released as 4GT, but in my inventory Excel I maintain it as 4GTLM because it's easier to differentiate with other 4GTs, otherwise it becomes very confusing. I add the year as well. So this one is 2009 manufacture, I believe. Yeah, I'll go into the delve into the details a little later as well. So yes, here we got Borla sponsor logo, Borla exhaust. Okay, yeah, and the window is curved nicely. As I said, this area of the casting is not easy to replicate. Yeah, the proportions are so difficult. I don't know how they executed the real car, but yeah. Anyway, so we got some air intake vent over here. No marking, but yeah, it's there in the molding, which is nicely done, and air intake went over here as well. This is also raised in the molding. Nice detail. And we got some black line, black and red line, which is across running across the bonnet and the side fender. And we got some side indicator lights over here, and nothing over here. But oh, nice! We have got a wheel flap design integrated into the metal piece. Okay, that's a nice little detail. In real life, this has got a mid to like a rear engine layout, and weight distribution is about 43 in the front and 57 at the rear, with a low center of gravity. So yes, everyone knows about this legendary original car, the predecessor of this car, which raced against Ferrari, and which has been depicted in the famous Ford versus Ferrari movie as well. I believe most collectors would have seen it. Yeah. So yeah, that is an amazing era in which one could never have imagined that Ford would race against Ferrari, which has racing pedigree. Yeah, Ford was had an image of being a working man's car with the starting with the Model A and other models, which were mostly executive vehicles, executive sedans, and SUVs. F-150 being the top seller. Yeah. So coming back on track. So talking about the engine, it had a 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6, which generated over 600 brake horsepower. Yeah, so powerful. And in real life, rear tires would have been wider than the front ones. Here it is a little different. That's, yeah, you can see over here it's depicted correctly. And or maybe both the wheels, the width of both the wheels is same, I believe. Yeah, maybe I had a little, yeah, both the wheels have the same width. Yeah, but the rear wheel ideally would be having a wider track to put down all the power. Yeah. And this particular version has been developed by a company called Matec Concepts, which is based out of Geneva, Switzerland. Yeah, this was meant for Le Mans racing in Le Mans. That's why the LM moniker. The engine specification was for the normal vehicle, but this one for the racing one, I think had an uprated engine at a 5.4 liter V8. I believe it had. Yeah. So yeah, this is a really powerful car in my hand. So coming to the front of the casting, yeah, which defines the look of this legendary car, yeah. So we have twin red stripes on top. They are on the roof and the hood, not on the rear. Yeah, it's not there on the rear. Yeah, okay. And we have the headlight tampos, which is nicely done. Some more graphics, and the Ford logo is also there. Okay, just got my toothpick for pointing. Headlight tampos, Ford logo, nicely striped, and this aerodynamic piece, yeah, it's quite deep and difficult to get these parts in metal moldings, but very nicely executed. Yeah, and there should ideally be a grill over here. If you can see this majorette casting, it has been depicted here. It's not the LM one version, but just to give you an idea, that majorette casting has not been done nicely. Yeah, that has been not been designed very nicely. I love majorettes, but that is one of their not so good designs. Okay. Anyways, we have some twin caps, which are, I believe, for fuel and oil filling. I might be wrong. Just correct me. Yeah. There's some aerodynamic bit here as well. Yeah. So they have given some decent amount of details, and you can see the details for the door as well. Yeah. Okay. It's a little raised, so you can make it out. Yeah. And coming to the absolute front, yeah, you have some aerodynamic canards over here. Yeah, they come out quite a lot here. And the famous overbite, like in Mustangs. So nice overbite of the Ford GT, and there's a big air intake, and the black piece is part of the black interior and the base. Yeah. So yeah, this depth gives it a very realistic look. Let me compare it with this majorette casting. Oh, it's there's a grill effect, but there's not much depth to it. And if you look at this 2017 one, yeah, this is also nicely executed. Yeah, so there's some decent amount of details. As I said, there was side marker lights as well in addition to the headlight tampos. And this side is similar to that side. Yeah, same logos and all. And there is, I think I missed that earlier, Hot Wheels logo on the side of the rear spoiler, both sides. Yeah, nicely done. Let's look at it from the top, which is, I think, one of the best angles. Yeah, really looks like a space age car. Yeah, and we got some, this is the rear window piece and some aerodynamics bits over here as well. And the spoiler has also been designed in an aerodynamic way. It's not just straight, it has got an indent in the middle as well. Yeah, must be for a reason. Yeah. So coming to the rear is where it loses out. There's some molding details for the tail lights and license plates not necessarily required in a racing vehicle, and there's some grill details which is for venting out the some heat from the engine bay area. And we have got twin exhaust pipes which is part of the base, I believe. Yeah, nicely executed. Yeah, details are there. Only thing is that the tail light tampos are not there. All the details are there, and the rear splitter which is part of the base, which is also well executed, I would say. Yeah, nice. And I noticed the detail only this time only, the rear mud flaps which are cast cast in the molding, which also gives, it's basically a part of the fender only. Yeah, you can see over here, this is actually, they are not the same era model, so can compare that way. Yeah, and that's the same one. Yeah, so it's bland. I have a red pen. I like to sometimes do, let me see. Yeah, it's not perfect, but we got two circles for the tail lights. Looks decent. Yeah, earlier I used to do too much, but I realized that less is more. You just have to give a little bit of highlight. uh, this gives it a nice look. I've done this on this casting as well. I filled that, but then I realized nowadays the real tail lights are like these rings only, and nowadays you have LED tail lights in most cars which are rings. So yeah, I'd give some detailing on this piece as well, which wasn't necessary because this is a beautiful piece. Yeah, I'll discuss about that. Let me compare now only. Yeah. So since both of them white, this one is with black stripes, and the major difference is this came with the plastic spoiler. Yeah. So now it is cast in metal. So I don't know which one is more accurate. This one raises more with this metal parts, and this one is like that. So I don't know, but plastic was also fine. Thing is that you can give a different color with that plastic piece, black part of the interior. This can be the color of the car only. So yeah, but I anyways prefer metal, that you can't, you can twist and damage the plastic piece, but metal is still better. This is a beautiful piece number 4 over here, and I highlighted these also with a silver paint pen, chrome pen. Yeah, which looks nice. And on the side I like the design. There's Ford GT written over here, and the twin stripes number 4. There's some other logos. There's a tiny, let me see, no, poly, and I can read it. This is Turismo, Gran Turismo. I think this was part of the Gran Turismo series. Yeah, I've added some air inlet highlights as well, And there's this American flag also over here. Yeah, this looks like a true American racer on the rear. It has the same PR5 wheels as this one. This is chromed out. No, there were no details on the rear. I used a paint pen over here. Not the best, but fine. You know what? I think I have given another detail. Rear brake light over here. Yeah, check this out. That's a neat one. I sometimes surprise myself as well. What all I do. Yeah. So get back to the regular zone. Yeah. So nice casting. This was a limited release, I believe, and I shouldn't have used the paint pen on this, but anyways, I like it. This is a regular release, and this is not bad. Let me keep it over here. Yeah. Does this look a little bigger? Yeah, so I believe this is a new tooling itself, yeah. But this new release looks a little longer as well. Let's look at the base. It'll have a copyright date, and this one has a 2015 copyright date. And this one, let me have a look, doesn't have any. So this is a older tooling, yeah. So newer toolings are generally closer to the real casting, and slight more difference. I believe older tooling is slightly wider. It's shorter but slightly wider than the newer tooling. Yeah, I don't know if you can make it out. Not too sure. And somehow I like the haunches part at the rear in the older tooling a little better. Anyways, yes, so interesting. I thought this was exactly the same tooling, but it's a different tooling. Okay. Okay, before I move to the matte black version, which looks sick, let me show what Major did with its casting. So here, this area, first of all, they don't have an A pillar. This looks quite a odd casting without the A pillar, and the window piece is also different. This is a modern release. A direct comparison would be this Hot Wheels version, which is a 2017, yeah, 17 Ford GT, as you can see. So this is the same 2017 release, I believe, and you can see grill details are nice on the Majorette, but this runs a size smaller. Generally, they mention the scale. Here it is 1 is to 63. So it is supposed to be slightly bigger than 1 is to 64 at 1 is to 63 scale. Actually, slightly bigger at 1 is to 63 scale as compared to 1 is to 64. But I don't know. They got all the proportions wrong. Measure it here. They've got the details here of the aerodynamic bits and all, but it's a very odd casting without the A pillar. Yeah, you can see. Inside also it looks odd, and wheels, although they are the same size, not staggered like in a Hot Wheels, but they are too small. This part wheel arches area also hasn't been executed well. Rear is nice with the tail light, yeah, corona rings, twin exhaust. Rear is nice, but they messed up this casting, yeah. And the red, it's the same casting, but in the red it looks a little nicer, but this area is not great, yeah. So anyways, it's always good to compare. So this is a more modern version of this Ford GT LM, yeah, 2017. And let's go a little back to 1967. This is the Mark IV of the original Ford GT. I have this one with the lensed headlights, which although a little big, but I like this detail. Yes, you know. So again, staggered wheels. I believe it had that kind of wheels only, but just to give a idea of the heritage of this vehicle. Uh, I'm not going to the original Ford GT version that was legendary. Let's take into this era, otherwise the video will be even longer. So this is the 2016 Ford GT race. This is the 2017 normal Ford GT race version, which is comparable to this of that era, earlier era, slightly earlier time, 2006, I believe, 2006 to 2010. So this you can see is even longer than this one and slightly narrower, but nicely executed with racing tempos and all, and a lot of details even at the rear. Yeah. Wait, this is another version of the same casting. Okay. So this is a plastic piece here, rear spoiler in this casting. So it's part of the interior. You can see white in this and black in that. So yes, this is also nice casting executed by Hot Wheels. Yeah, I like it. Racy American racing car, but here the wing is ramrod straight. No aerodynamic bit like that, but they must have replicated it like it's in real life. Okay, we got side exhaust in this casting. So just to get in the groove with Ford GT, let's park it over here and let's open the matte black one, which is similar in livery to the white one, I believe. Okay, nice. The paint is good here. Matte black is a good choice as compared to gloss black. Yeah, this is a nice version. The rear also looks nice without any tail light tampos. Yeah, it's not bad. Here you can see the lights and some grill is supposed to be black only. So here it's white, so it looks a bit odd. But so let me check this. So this also didn't have. This is a nicer version, I would say. Yeah. And let's start with the rear in this and let's compare only. Yeah. So with the tail lights done, which I just did, it looks pretty decent, but the black one looks sick actually. Yeah. No need for any tampos at the rear. Yeah. So from the side, they're same except base color black and white, and Borla logo in contrasting color, opposite color you can see. And this graphic is red in both cars. 78 exhaust, same wheels, exactly the same wheels, copper chrome PR5s, and with the Hot Wheels logo on the side of the rear spoiler. Yeah, you can see, I don't know, black one is showing more details. I just noticed this quarter glass detail over here is there in the white as well, and you can see the rear intake also looks nicer and more realistic, because in a white one you can't see it unless it's you add some black paint like I did in wedge casting here on the side air scoop. Yeah, unless you do that it looks a bit odd, like here it's white which looks odd, not realistic. Here it's black which looks nice and realistic. I don't know if this was black in this casting or not, because looks like I used a black permanent marker pen on this one, maybe. And this one, the 2017 version, also I don't know if it had black or not. Maybe I used a marker, but that gives a realistic depth to it. So black one definitely looks better. White is nice, but detail wise you can get more realistic effect in the black one. Yeah. Oh, nice. Here there's a difference. Okay, this one has black interior, but this one has gray. So you can see some engine details and some bracing as well. Yeah. Okay, nice. So definitely they need to have a gray interior to make it visible. it must be having the same interior piece, I believe, but in the black you can't see anything. Yeah, looks quite ordinary actually. So yes, definitely the black one is the one to have in your collection. Yeah, the front similar details, no change. Yeah, except that the black one has some white tampos and white one has some black headlights. Ford logo, everything is the same. And this again, these fuel and oil intake caps look realistic in the black one, more realistic. But the best one is my chrome pen detail on this one. Yeah. So yes, nice detail here. Here you can't see much of the details. Yeah, here the white one wins. Yeah, because you can see the black grill inside. Yeah, this is all black, you can't make out much. Yeah, so that's where the white one wins. So both have their share of positives, I believe. So yeah, I don't know, maybe if they had all black wheels it would have looked even sicker. We can remove that with a thinner and nail polish remover. Yeah, but nice. I like this matte black paint and nice details. So modern avatar of a legendary casting Ford GT, and this is the race version. So let me know how you like my review. One point I missed, since it says Ford GT LM, it had participated in Le Mans as well. Yeah, and other racing events as well. Must have won some events, definitely. I'll not go into those details, but yeah. Okay, another detail I just saw. There's this, I believe, fire extinguisher on this side. Yeah, nice. They could have done without that detail in the interior, but I just noticed the fire extinguisher over there. Yeah, see details is there. It's, I don't think we will be able to make it out in the. This is a smoke tinted glass, so that's why we are not able to make it out. It must, yeah, this is a light smoked. Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's why. So this is definitely the better one. Let me compare it with the older casting ones. Did it have any other details? Again, this is a dark one, so you can't make out, but it has that braces kind of thing. Yeah, engine brace. Over here you can make out a little bit, not in these castings. Yeah, this one, it's quite dark. There's some engine detail over there, can't make out much. Yeah, on this modern version, yeah, there is some decent detail for the engine plastic piece. Yeah, so yes, let me know. Let's okay, this one is going in this direction, let this go in that direction. So let me know how you like the review of this Ford GT casting by Hot Wheels, Ford GT LM basically. Yeah, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll soon be back with another review. Cheers from Scaling Drive.